Who doesn't love a good story about a powerful leader who changed the world around them? Whether they ruled with an iron fist or a benevolent hand, great leaders inspire us to be better people and make the world a better place. And today, we are going back in time to explore the lives of some of history's greatest leaders, from Egyptian pharaohs who built pyramids to Genghis Khan, who forged empires. Join us as we uncover the secrets of leadership and discover what made these ancient rulers truly great. The seventh pharaoh of the sixth dynasty, Teti, was one of Egypt's most influential rulers. He came to power at a time when Egypt was becoming increasingly wealthy and powerful, and he used this wealth and power to further his own interests as well as those of his people. One of the ways he did this was through the construction of monumental works such as the Pyramid of Saqqara. The pyramid was not only a tomb for the pharaoh, but also a symbol of his power and status. It was built during the Old Kingdom period of Egypt, which lasted from around 2680 to 2180 BC, and it is considered one of the oldest and largest pyramids ever built. But Tetes didn't just build impressive structures, he also implemented important religious reforms. He identified himself with the god Horus and emphasized the connection between the divine and the earthly realms. He also built a cult center dedicated to Osiris and Isis, two major gods in Egyptian mythology, and he promoted the worship of other gods throughout Egypt. These reforms helped to solidify his legacy as a pious and God-fearing ruler. Despite his many accomplishments, however, little is known about the personal life of Pharaoh Tetes. We don't know much about his childhood or early adulthood, and the details of his reign are often unclear. Nevertheless, his legacy lived on through the centuries, and he remains one of the most well-known and respected figures in ancient Egyptian history. His innovative building projects and religious reforms left an indelible mark on Egyptian society and culture, and continue to fascinate historians and archaeologists today. Ramesses II, also known as the Great Ankh-Mahor, was one of the most prolific builders in ancient Egypt. During his 66-year reign, he built numerous temples, monuments, and cities across the country. However, his most famous works include two rock temples carved into the face of a mountain. The first is the Temple of Abu Simbel, which was built to commemorate his victory at the Battle of Kadesh. The second is the smaller Ramesseum, located near his final burial site. Both temples are intricate and awe-inspiring feats of engineering and architecture that showcase the wealth and power of the Egyptian kingdom. The Abu Simbel temple is particularly remarkable because it features four gigantic statues of Ramesses II, each over 65 feet tall. This temple was originally painted in vibrant colors, but centuries of erosion have faded them to muted tones. Still, it remains an imposing sight that has captivated visitors for centuries. Aside from his architectural achievements, Ramesses II was also a skilled diplomat. He forged alliances with several foreign rulers, including the Hittites and the Assyrians. He also engaged in trade with the Levant and the Aegean, bringing great wealth to his kingdom. In addition to his diplomatic skills, Ramesses II was also a military leader. He led his armies on numerous campaigns, including the Battle of Kadesh, which resulted in the first recorded peace treaty between two hostile nations. Though he faced many challenges during his reign, including rebellions and economic crises, Ramesses II managed to maintain control of Egypt and leave behind a legacy of peace and prosperity. He died at the age of 90, having reigned for longer than any other pharaoh in Egyptian history. Akhenaten, formerly known as Amenhotep IV, was an Egyptian pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. He is best known for introducing a new religion in Egypt that centered around the sun god Aten. Akhenaten's religious revolution was a radical departure from the traditional Egyptian religion, which had been polytheistic and animistic. Under his rule, he moved the empire's capital to Amarna and changed its name to Akhetaten, meaning horizon of Aten. To emphasize his commitment to the new faith, he also changed his name from Amenhotep IV to Akhenaten, meaning effective for Aten. Akhenaten's religious reforms were not the only significant changes he introduced during his reign. He also implemented a number of social and economic policies that had a profound impact on Egyptian society. For example, he established a new system of weights and measures, and he also reorganized the government bureaucracy. Additionally, he encouraged the arts and learning, and many beautiful pieces of art and literature were produced during his reign. However, despite these accomplishments, Akhenaten's reign was not without its challenges. His religious reforms were met with resistance from the traditionalist elements of Egyptian society, and he faced a number of threats from neighboring kingdoms. Nevertheless, he remained committed to his vision of a sun-centered religion, and he continued to promote the worship of Aten until his death. Akhenaten's legacy is a complex one. On the one hand, he was a religious revolutionary who introduced a new way of thinking to Egyptian society. On the other hand, he was a controversial figure whose policies alienated many of his subjects. Nevertheless, his impact on Egyptian history is undeniable, and he remains one of the most fascinating pharaohs of all time. Thutmose III was an Egyptian pharaoh of the 18th dynasty and is considered one of the greatest military commanders in ancient history. He came into power after the death of his father, Thutmose II, and initially shared the throne with his stepmother, Hatshepsut. However, he soon established full control and embarked on a series of military campaigns that greatly expanded the Egyptian empire. Throughout his reign, Thutmose III's armies were victorious against the Nubians, the Syrians, the Canaanites, and the Hittites, among others. He was particularly successful in Syria, where he established Egyptian dominance and secured control of valuable trade routes. In addition to his military achievements, Thutmose III was also a skilled administrator and builder. He oversaw the construction of several temples and monuments, including the Temple of Karnak, which is still one of the largest religious complexes in the world. He also implemented a number of economic and social reforms that helped to stabilize and strengthen Egyptian society. Despite his many accomplishments, Thutmose III's legacy has been somewhat overshadowed by the more famous female pharaoh, Hatshepsut. This is partly due to the fact that much of his artwork was destroyed or defaced during the New Kingdom, when his stepmother's image was being promoted instead. However, in recent years, there has been a growing effort to rehabilitate Thutmose III's reputation and recognize him as one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut, was one of the most famous pharaohs of ancient Egypt. He came to power at the age of 9 and ruled until his death at the age of 18 or 19. Tutankhamun is best known for his tomb, which was discovered by Howard Carter in 1922. This discovery was one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century and captivated the world's attention. The tomb contained a wealth of treasures, including many priceless artifacts, providing an invaluable glimpse into the culture and customs of ancient Egypt. Tutankhamun's reign was a turbulent one. He succeeded his father, Akhenaten, who had implemented radical religious reforms and shifted the empire's focus away from traditional gods and towards the sun, god Aten. Upon assuming the throne, Tutankhamun reversed many of his father's policies and restored traditional Egyptian religion. He also moved the empire's capital back to Thebes. Despite his young age, Tutankhamun was a capable ruler, and his advisors, including the influential figure Ai, helped to guide him in his duties. He traveled extensively throughout Egypt and the Levant, and he established friendly relations with neighboring kingdoms. However, his reign was cut short when he died at the age of 18 or 19. The cause of his death is unknown, but it is believed that he may have succumbed to malaria or complications from a broken leg. he was succeeded by his advisor Ai, who had previously served as the treasurer under Akhenaten. Tutankhamun's legacy has endured for centuries, and he continues to be one of the most popular and iconic figures of ancient Egypt. His story has inspired countless works of art, literature, and film, and his tomb remains one of the most popular tourist destinations in Egypt. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of 5 Egyptian pharaohs who changed the world. From the enigmatic Akhenaten to the boy king Tutankhamun, each of these rulers left an indelible mark on history. We hope you enjoyed learning more about their lives and legacies. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical tales. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.